Hey, this is Josh. This is my Decathlon training log for week 5 of my training. It went pretty well. Eating was a little bit up and down. Like I ended up hitting where I needed to be for calories, but the actual food I was eating was pretty all over the place. Um, I'm in this video. I'm still throwing a 12 pound. I said I'm gonna throw a 12 pound until I throw over 50 feet. And I think in a few weeks from now I'll be there. I'm throwing over 45 on my good throws now, and I think it's gonna keep coming back pretty quick. I'm happy with my positions in the circle. I put my throwing shoes back on last week, like the previous week, for the first time in ages, and it's coming around. I'm really happy with going through these individual positions. My right foot needs to pivot more, and this is a really fast circle. So if my right foot is still like lagging behind on this circle, then it's really going to be lagging behind on other circles. Um, but I'm staying behind the shot pretty well. I don't like that my right foot is coming off the ground over here. But hey, we'll get there eventually. I am staying behind the shot pretty well, which I'm happy about. Here is another angle of a non-reverse throw. I was in this case I was trying to turn the right foot better. You see that my right foot still leaves the ground at the end. I like the I like most of the things about this throw, except that I really need to be keeping that right foot on the ground on non-reverses. The fact that like it looks like it's more or less staying on the ground, but when you break it down frame by frame, you can see that that looks really good. That looks really good. And then my right foot's off the ground, and I'm still, I'm 20% through pushing the shot put. And that means that I can't, I don't have a double support. I don't have both feet on the ground to finish push, 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 push. So it looks okay in full speed, but in slow motion, it's really showing some problems where I'm not giving myself all the power that I can generate. Um, so I just gotta keep that weight on the right foot in the middle a little bit longer. I also took some video of myself running. So with this video of running, I'm happy generally with where I'm at, um, but it looks like I'm not putting forth enough effort, which is like a crazy thing to say. It looks like I'm jogging, and I think I haven't had to be intense for a really long time and like aggressive. And I just need to reteach myself what 100% actually is, so that I can increase my max velocity when running. I guess I thought I would felt like I was running. I I'm not surprised by how slow I'm running, but I am surprised by how little effort it looks like I'm putting into it. That's my problem. So I think I just need to, little bit by little bit, push myself to be more aggressive when doing the faster reps that happen only once a week at this point in this training cycle. Because it's short distances. I don't want to be that intense for a long rep because I know that I'll hurt myself eventually if I keep pushing it too long. But like, building up, getting into like a 10-meter fly at max velocity um, is going to be a necessity for me to keep increasing that max velocity for me. Um, yeah, I like technically. I think that it's more or less what it needs to be. It just I have a very relaxed running. So I think that I need to, which is good for some things, but I think that for others, I just need to be more aggressive. As far as weight loss goes, I'm down to 198. That means I'm down 14 pounds. As you can see from the previous days, it was kind of an up and down kind of week. But I had been actually eating well for a few days. It just wasn't showing on the scale, and then I think it kind of popped out this morning. I don't know, water weight or whatever it was. But yeah, so down 14, under 200 again, which is great. Um, as far as the sprint training plan goes, hill day was really good. The videos that I showed were from the shot put day with a 12 pound. Like I said, I'm transitioning the weight off of my right leg too early. I just have to stay on that right leg in the middle longer. For the running, I got new spikes because last time I ran, I realized my spikes were way too small. Um, so the 10 by 120 was great. It just felt good. And then I did two extra, a little bit faster in some new, like 1500-meter spikes that I bought. I kind of went on a shopping spree and bought a bunch of spikes as a motivation for myself. Um, and then on the speed endurance day, I ended up just doing some fast running and taking the video that I showed. I wanted to see what I looked like. I wanted to kind of push myself a little bit, and I just need to be more aggressive. I need to reteach my body what 100% is, I think. On lift day, I ended up moving that lift day because just like timing. I didn't write down here, but I did lift on the same day as I did my tempo workout for the second time in the week. 10 120s felt outstanding, outstanding. When I read about the purpose of tempo workouts for sprinters, I often see people talking about, it's supposed to be relaxed. You're not supposed to be too rigid. It's meant as a way to recover and to teach your body to sort of glide efficiently through reps at a lower effort level. And I actually felt like I wasn't working for every single step for the first time in this 5 weeks that I've been doing this. So, uh, 10 out of 10. Very good. Um, and then off day today on Sunday, and I ended up 198. You can see like my weekly weight progress is heading the right direction. I started tracking for workouts that I repeat this last week. I started tracking like based on my watch and splitting on my watch, a Garmin, like what my metrics are. Clearly, these two are wrong. Like my heart rate was 106 during the workout. But I'll just keep putting it down and um, so this 226 felt like a good workout, kind of standard for what it was the last few weeks. And so these are the average 120 yard times throughout the 10. This is the average of the 10. And this definitely felt like it was a second faster than earlier in the week. Like it definitely felt like it. It was really nice. It was pleasant. I was sweating like crazy because it was a pretty hot day out. But it was like it felt good. Really good. So that's it for the weekly update. The other thing I wanted to show was one of the things I like to do is I realize that numbers aren't everything, but I like to get an idea of where I need to be roughly in order to be successful in the event in other metrics, right? So like I think that in order for me to be successful in the decathlon, I need to be a much faster sprinter because if I increase my 100 time, my 400 time will get better, my 110 hurdle time will get better because eventually I'll be able to three-step if my 100-meter time is much faster. My long jump will improve, and like et cetera, et cetera. And then like if I lose weight, some other events improve. I'm trying to, rather than like really laser focus on individual events, I'm trying to focus on sort of some factors that contribute to multiple events at the same time. So one of those things is strength level, right? There's a really strong correlation between strength levels in the weight room and throwing events, particularly shot and discus. So like that two event group. And I ended up finding some research articles that investigated like elite and sub-elite throwers and strength levels, and they provided some formulas. And this is kind of like what came up. So like in order to throw 9 meters, you need to have a 198 bench and a 170 power clean. And of course, these aren't going to be perfect, right? There's always going to be tons of exceptions to the rule, but the idea is that it is just a general idea of like what's needed. And it actually provided different numbers for rotational throwers versus gliders, and it was pretty interesting read. But the summary is, right now, I think that I have probably about a 220-pound bench and a 200-pound power clean. And so the formula says I can probably throw 11 meters with the 16-pound. I think I'm probably in a little bit better shape than that, but not by a lot. We're talking like maybe mid to high 11s into 12 if I picked up a 16-pound and had a couple practices. So I think that like according to this formula, right, like technically my technical efficiency is okay, which is great. And I'll zoom in a little bit more. Um, and looking back to like how this adds up when I was in college. So when I was in college, I had about a 270-pound bench, which would put me at 12 to 13 meters, and I had about a 255-pound clean, which would put me at 14 to 15 meters, and I threw 15, 14 in college. So I was, according to the formula, I was a more efficient thrower than the numbers show. So anyway, I'm thinking, I want to be able to throw, 14. I'd love to be able to throw 14 meters in shot put. I'm losing weight. I'm focusing on other things. But at the end of the day, it's telling me that like in order to throw 14 meters, I need to have a 307-pound bench and a 245-pound power clean, right? Um, I think that's definitely achievable. I think the 245 power clean is way more achievable for me than the 307-pound bench because I never benched 307 pounds, even at my heaviest when I was like 210 when I was younger. The heaviest I ever benched was like 290, 295. Um, but I did power clean up in the 250 to 260 range. So like I think that I would, if enough effort, enough years go into my training and I stay healthy, that the power clean is achievable. So, um, just looking at like, okay, I'm out here to sprint, but also there's this long-term strength base that I need, and I need to keep that in mind week over week. Be a little bit of work every week. Years from now may pay off, right? Again, I'm getting older, who knows? But like I like to think in a structured way like this. Anyway, that's my update for the week. I appreciate everybody who listened to the end, and have a great day.